Welcome back, everyone, to our matchup of Royalty versus Odyssey. We have Royalty in on the unknown on Wrecker's Yard against the Odyssey survivors. We see some scratch marks early here in our Corrupt. And a pretty expected build on our killer, seeing that pop, Eruption, Pain Res, and the Corrupt for the early game. We have our first power tag coming through on Jules, chasing here at the double window tile. Dodging that second power shot, trying to loop back to this pallet. Going to get the Dispel on the Infect, but takes the M1 instead. Staying here at this tile, keeping this chase in the Corrupt. We see all three of our survivors getting some decent progress on a generator. Likely across the map from where this chase is playing out. We have one TP over here by this tile. Jules is going to transfer deep into this pocket, playing this filler palette really well. Oh, but the swing and the double back from our killer does connect. That's going to be the end of our Corrupt and our first hook. Unfortunate Pain Res spawns for our killer, not quite going to make it up towards that top Pain Res hook, and that's going to allow the first generator to come through. One gen for one hook. We have a second TP being dropped there by the shack. We see the faint remnant of scratch marks, but no chase activated just yet. We see Cyber's gen is still really high progress as well. That was two generators that our survivors were splitting. But Cyber is going to be pushed off, forced to rotate towards Crane, and that will be pop being applied to this other high progress generator. Immediate TP by our killer. Oh, and a bit of a body block, but not quite able to keep Jules from making it to this next tile. The drop coming through on this filler pallet. Jules going to be able to make Shack for this, but taking the Infect, we should see Cyber popping their top gen here in just a second. That will be Shack pallet out of the way. But Jules is going to be able to make it all the way. Oh, the fastball comes through, but the tag comes through as well. We see someone crawling in front of this locker. Our killer checking it just to be safe. No flashlight save, no firecracker coming through, but this will be Pain Res onto Jules now. But we see Morden Covet already 50% on potentially one or two other gens. No, that is two other gens sitting at 50% spread across the map. This is really, really good gen pressure from our Odyssey survivors. We did TP near our Ace's generator, going to chase him off of this. Our Ace playing for the blind, trying to take the killer's attention, not going to take the Infect there on the UVX. Oh, really nice short swing from our killer, getting that tag even through the drop and stun. Ace being sent back into this corner where Jules was chasing originally. We have a TP on this tile, but this filler is still up. Oh, and the UVX, the bounce is gonna come through, but we see another gen popping across the map. Covet's gonna die deep in this corner. We know there isn't a Pain Res here already. So we're denying the killer even more info. We saw Cyber cleansing one of our teleports across the map. Trying to stealth out, likely gonna play for this pull. Two of our survivors just rotating onto gens. We have Jules sitting on this generator near Crane, and Mort is gonna take chase. Taking a UVX. Oh, and might take a tag here because there's no pallet on this car filler. Just trying to get the Dispel, not taking the UVX tag. Able to get the Dispel off. Gonna get pushed in chase, but we see our killer TPing back immediately, trying to cut this Ace off from making any other resources, but not quite able to. We know this pallet over here was already dropped. We have, I believe this is one of our modified jungles. Now for the Ace to play. The UVX will come through, but we see more very high progress on another generator. Cyber almost to 25 as well. I believe we only have we might not even have Eruption applied to any of our generators, so this next down isn't going to result in any immediate regression. And yeah, we see another generator pop. Ace not quite able to make this pallet here. The killer opting to M1, not needing to use power, but we have Cyber's gen at 50, and our killer still might not make a pain res here. This is a little ambitious. Forced to walk through this pallet, doesn't really have the time to cut around it, but no one's here for that drop. We will have the pain res come through. That's Death Hook onto Covet. We see our Nancy and Quan stealthing. All of our survivors playing it a little bit slow, not wanting to give our killer any more pressure. And our killer struggling to locate our next chase, having to go around and check those generators. TPing back towards the 3 side, cutting off that pull, but we still have a really strong pallet to play. Just wanting to get that out of the way. We have 2 Death Hook survivors in this corner, but we need to locate where that high progress gen is that Cyber's working on, because we're kind of wasting our pop on the relatively low progress Shack gen. We might come to regret that when we find this more progress gen here at 9. We see the gen, we're going to apply our eruption to it, but I don't think we're going to find Cyber here stealthing on the edge map. Yeah, our killer just forced to leave this. It's not the tightest gen spread that is known to spawn on Wreckers. This Shack gen is a little bit more unsafe now that Shack pallet's gone, but we have also 4 survivors still alive. We don't even have an injury on the board currently. We will have the UVX applied, but we're going to immediately TP back, trying to check on this 9 gen, make sure they're not getting any more progress. We're just looking for the Nancy here, but we're not able to locate her again. Cyber doing a really good job of playing it safe, not getting caught out. All of our survivors just pre-running. Oh, but we get the UVX tag onto our Ace. It's going to be risky for our killer to commit here. We know we have all that progress at 9, but with eruption applied to it, this could be a really nice down. And it is! We hear Nancy scream across. We see those auras on the generators. We've already used this pain res though, so this is just going to be a death. We get our pop out of it, which will be really helpful. And we can get an M1 for free, catching Mord rotating out. And a UVX applied. We're not actually going to take the time to apply or pop here. Just focusing on getting these tags and trying to get these downs. We really need to stall out this last gen. Jules not getting caught swinging wide from the corner of Shack. Not going to catch the UVX. A good pop applied to this Shack gen. We have a fair amount of progress split between the 2. And this will be another hit onto our Death Hook survivor. We see Cyber and Mord healing off in the distance, so we know they're not actively on those gens. We really want to see a heal come through onto Jules, trying to prevent this going into a 2v1. And we catch Mord out. That's going to be a really fast hit with the UVX, and not a lot of distance gained from that. Eruption applied on Shack gen. This will be another pain res if our killer is able to make it to a hook, and they are utilizing this car pile hook. We should know it's hitting either... It should hit 9 or Shack. Neither one will have a lot of progress right now, as our survivors have been resetting and kind of playing it slow, stuck in chase for the last few moments. But both are going to get caught out here. Nancy going to take an M1 towards Crane. But the TP here. We see the UVX applied to both of our survivors. We have the injured Mord caught here at Shack. A really good switch up for our killer. Oh, and we see the tag come through, but it eats those last few seconds of BT, and it's going to be the deep wound being applied and not a down. Our killer trying, wanting that UVX hit, but just settling for the M1. Jules will get the infect off, but immediately the UVX is reapplied. We saw one of our survivors running edge map there, I think. Oh, really nice down onto Jules. We have Cyber sitting on a gen. right at about 60, likely going to be all the way across the map. We do still have our TP towards 9 if we're able to get it. Struggling with the dredge effect just a little bit, having to shift his angle to TP to that correct remnant. But that's going to be pop applied to our highest progressed gen. We still have pain res available on Cyber. We have that eruption applied. The gen regression is really adding up against our survivors. We're now in the 2v1, both injured, both affected by the UVX. We have a really nice spread of TPs all around this map. Our survivors have gotten rid of some over time, but oh, a bit of an overbounce on that UVX. We're not getting downed by it quite yet. We have this window here, but I believe our pallet here is already used, so this is just going to be another down. The swing coming through, we see eruption proccing on the generator at 9. And our Nancy just being forced to play this slow. Can't risk looking too closely at the killer, revealing that they're nearby. Unable to heal. Going to have to just play very slowly for this pick if we want to pull this back past the 4K1. Our killer just going around, clearing out some of these resources our survivors have been playing around, and just needing to spot this Nancy. Looks like we might have lost our slugged survivor. Not quite sure where they've crawled off to. But yeah, we can see crawling off towards the pocket at 3. Our Nancy's still stealthing top. We can always hope it's not a bleed out being played for. But Nancy may at least be able to deny the fresh hook here if our survivors play this out right. But our killer catching on, coming, rotating to check this pocket 3. Not spotting our slugged survivor, it seems. Oh, but we get eyes on Nancy, her little pink bubble, and the linger of the UVX, cementing the 4K1 for our royalty killer. Our killer's only job now is to find our slugged survivor. We're going to close this hatch just to make sure. No worst case scenario. Unfortunately, our slugged survivor got a little too adventurous. Just hiding out here on the edge map. Cyber, about halfway through the first hook stage. We see more dirt crawling a little bit further, and our survivors have surrendered here. We have our finalized 4K1 for royalty, and we will be right back with Odyssey on Killer. And we are back with our second game of Odyssey versus Royalty. We have Odyssey on Killer against the Royalty survivors. We're seeing a slight modification to the build we saw last game. Our killer opting for Deadlock over the Eruption. Just trying to slow these gens down a little bit more, opting for blocking them over the Eruption regression, not having to go manually kick all of these generators. Our first chase is going to be starting here at Shack against our Jake, but rotating off, hearing this progress on the generator here at Carpile. leaving our Jake with just a bit of UVX applied. We have Claudette working at almost 50% on a gen, doubling with our Dwight. Another UVX applied, but Chase here getting pulled into the Corrupt. Less ideal for our killer. An early pre-drop on that bus pallet. Oh, and our V doing a good job avoiding that UVX, forcing the M1, and keeping the Chase here in the Corrupt while getting the Dispel. Oh, another UVX applied to the V. She's able to drop this filler pallet. We have our first gen popping across the map. Corrupt still up. And V with another pallet to play here. Fully infected, not able to get much dispel on this power yet. Oh, but the bounce not quite connecting. V playing this tile very well. And finally able to get the UVX off. The stun on our killer. And we see smash hit come through really good distance by our V. Getting cut off by the TP, but able to make it to another pallet. UVX reapplied. Really good chase coming through by our killer player from the previous trial. V able to make it to yet another tile. No bounce coming through on that UVX shot, so no down for our killer. And V fully making it over to Crane. Our killer losing a lot of pressure here. We have 2 more generators sitting at almost the 50 mark. And no down yet onto this V. She's used her pallets up, but oh, a little bit of a fake on that window. V able to get more distance here. Oh, and not quite enough distance for our killer to get the down on that. Our killer keeps glancing back here at Shack. We have UVX applied, but the killer can hear that progress on the Shack gen, knows these gens are getting worse. We have a win con of 4K2 for our Odyssey killer. Amazing chase on the V. That'll be our first down with 2 gens completed. We see Goose holding off on popping that last gen, potentially wanting to let whatever gen they were working on eat pain res. Oh, but it's Shack that'll pop. Oh, and we hear Geo in the distance eat the pain res, actually not that far off from the hook. And the deadlock does get procced on one of our other generators. Our survivors here do know about deadlock. They've seen it already. That might be why they were holding Goose's gen at such high progress before that pain res came through, trying to proc it and actually prevent the killer from getting nearly as much value. And that looks like exactly what happened. We have the pop applied though, so good spread of that regression by our killer. We're picking up another chase here. Trying to cut off our UVX survivor, but not able to connect. We see the pull come through with killer pretty close. But our killer a little hesitant, not sure if they want to commit. Oh, really good dodge by Schroed there. Getting the pallet drop, not quite able to connect on that blind, unfortunately. But we see Chase going in a really good direction. We have the TP there at 3, but we've already got a lot of progress over here. Oh, that will be the down. We've had 1 gen pop on this side of the map, and it looks like we are using Carpile as our hold-off generator. Jake maybe wanting to come in for that pallet save, or at the very least to get the UVX off. But not going to be able to. We have Goose on 1 gen across the map ready to pop, and Geo on a completely separate gen. Geo going to be pushed off. Our unknown likely just going to apply pop to this generator. And not even going to commit to chase on Geo, wanting to get this tunnel out. We see so much progress on these generators. Survivors are doing a really good job. We finally have our 3rd gen popping, so this is the win con for our killer. We would need to get a 4K right now to take the set for Odyssey. Oh, we heard a locker in the distance. Maybe our survivors playing for each other. Oh, but the vault. That hitbox is just gonna get tagged. Our Claudette there not able to do anything to prevent this death. So this will be the last hook for Schroed coming through. We still have 3 completely fresh survivors in the game. And we clearly see our Claudette trying to pull attention, trying to keep our killer away from these generators with so much progress. We have another pop coming through on this Carpile generator. Jake here just playing it slow. The tiniest remnant of that UVX still on. But Geo finally able to pop his generator across the map. We now are at our tie condition, with no other hooks to speak of and a fair amount of gen progress already on that now deadlocked gen that's no longer regressing. Our killer's in a really risky position. They need some tags, they need some downs. We still have 3 stacks of pain res in our pocket, but we need the down to be able to make the most of that and our pop. And we see our killer just glancing off into the distance, aware that that gen is being worked, aware that that could be about to pop. The dispel will come through. Geo taking the M1 tag back towards 9, and our killer just not able to commit any longer. No connection on that UVX blast in the distance. We see Goose now getting back onto the very high progress gen here that's eaten so much regression. And our killer just losing time, searching this edge map, trying to find whoever has been working on this generator. Yeah, we have basically all of our generators sitting at or above the 50% mark. This is going to be really hard for our killer to try to tie this up. The royalty survivors are doing a really good job at keeping the gen pressure up, not giving out tags, getting the dispel on that UVX. I believe we've seen them cleanse a number of these teleports as well, just cutting off our killer's mobility. And yeah, we're comfortably at 50% on every generator. We catch the Jake here, but no UVX applied, no injury. This is going to be a full chase. And I'm not sure we'll be able to see it finish before our survivors can finish one of these generators. And yeah, we see our killer not willing to commit to that chase. We saw Claudette cleanse one of those teleports from our killer, cutting off more and more of the mobility and the map pressure this killer has. But we have that other one dropped now right next to Shaq, in a really good position for our killer. The UVX not going to connect through the wall. Jake having enough sense to cut wide towards the hill. And just a chase here at the bus. Jake holding just long enough likely for this last generator to pop. We know we have eruption on it. No screams coming through. No, we don't have eruption. That's right. We have nothing to slow down this last generator, and we're gonna see Goose pop it in the distance. That is our last generator, so that will be a win for the royalty survivors on this set. Our royalty survivors are going to have to turn around and play survive immediately after this, so they're likely going to play for as best result as they can. And Goose not getting caught on that pallet, running through, not going to get caught by the swing, but will take a UVX hit. The M1 likely going to come through now. Oh, but the connection not quite right. The UVX not bouncing off those tires. Geo having opened the door in the distance. Our killer's likely just going to commit for whatever stages they can. We see our Claudette just circling the hill, playing back towards Shaq. No UVX applied, so only a little bit of hinder from that. Oh, and we went locker potentially, playing for a head-on. And not quite gonna come through. Goose getting baited out of the locker and going to go down to the M1. Geo now heading for the door. Our survivors are more than happy to leave behind these other two. Oh, but Geo not quite going to make it out. The UVX does come through. No locker CJ does come out. Very unfortunately, that will be the grab on Geo on that vault out of the locker. And that should cement the 4K0 for our Odyssey killer. No hatch escape for our Claudette either. This will be first set going to royalty. and we will be right back with our second game of Nurse on Cold Tower 1. And we are back with our second set of Odyssey versus Royalty. Our first set going to Royalty. We have Odyssey on the killer. I am Reaver, joined here by Ellie.
I was supposed to be casting the last match, but unfortunately some technical difficulties on my end was preventing me from casting the first match with my wonderful caster Reaver, but I am so happy to be here, and it's Nurse, it's C2, it's a classic, and oh, a very quick down onto Nvix, aka our Meg, and I am very excited for this Reaver. I have played against Royalty before, so I'm a huge fan of Royalty. I love everyone Royalty, even though I get confused for one of their players, Cupid, because we have similar names, but I'm just so happy to see Royalty. It's always a treat seeing them, and I don't think I've ever seen or casted for Odyssey, so this will be my first time.
Yeah, we saw a really close matchup on the unknown. Our Royalty survivors did really well in that set. We have them right here back again on Survivor. That really quick double blink down for our first hook of the game, but we saw Goose popping that, I believe it was Ruin. No, it wasn't. We saw a totem pop across the map early. It was our Ruin. Or maybe it didn't quite come out. Potentially that was a Dole Totem getting popped for inner healing on our Claudette. Actually, it wasn't our Ruin Totem. That's why we still see that lit up. But we have a pretty interesting build, not totally the standard on our Nurse. We see that Call of Brine, which has been popping up a little bit more. We see our more standard Ruin to really punish these survivors when they have to reset if they need to play slow against the really dominating chase power of the Nurse. We see our Corrupt already long gone due to that fast early down and the Eruption. We see the Ruin spark on this generator at 11. I believe that's Shroud that we have here in Chase.
Shroud! And it's a V player. I love seeing V in comp. He is such an amazing survivor. And Shroud is juicing.
Much to the luck of our survivor, that lunge add-on not gonna be allowed, not gonna make that connect. But, oh, the drop on the same side, playing that 50, hoping the Nurse is going to over-blink. But a really nice short blink by Cyber. I love how fast these blinks come out and how confident they are. We've had some really good chases from our killer.
I'm sensing that Cyber for Odyssey is very confident on this killer, because Nurse is not a very easy killer, but if you can master Nurse, I think this person's good at almost every other killer in the game, maybe? I'm not sure.
Nurse is definitely its own kind of special skill. We see our Meg doing a good job of stealthing here on the edge map, not going to get caught out by the Nurse, who's losing a fair bit of time kind of searching this. And then Meg's going to immediately go in, I think, for that pull on Shroud. Yeah, we see the unhook come through, and the Nurse immediately 180, charging up that blink, coming back for that tunnel. We do see the generator top popping. That's going to break our standard 3-gen of 11 main 1, but we still have a generator at 3 that we haven't seen or that we don't hear too much progress on. And this will be our tunnel out chase taking place now at that pop gen.
Was that
a little plot twist?
action?
This should be DS from our V. And yeah, it will be. Our Nurse more than happy to just take that. She has her blinks up.
Let's see another quick down, possibly?
Oh!
Not yet!
Yeah, the V using that life DS combo to be able to play into the Nurse's blink, doubling back into her, but that's going to be another really fast down, and that will be DS burned at 4 generators remaining, but we see Geo and Goose both really high progress on 2 more generators. Yeah, we see Geo's gen pop in the distance. Will our Nurse be able to find where Goose is working? And we see Goose off that generator. Maybe it's this one here at 11. And yeah, we see all those pistons moving.
I don't think Goose is here, maybe? Oh no, we didn't see Goose!
Oh!
They were just hard stealthy, that's why I couldn't even notice them for a second.
Oh, and Cyber making another really good call. Two of these survivors trying to bait the nurse out, play for that drop on the same side, and hope for an overblink, but Cyber not getting caught by that, and more than happy to safety blink on the same side as the survivors, and getting another good down. This might be a confirmed death if we're able to... No, we won't go for the body block. We're just going to take the tag and the trade here onto the Atom. A really fast down. We had two people slugged, but we see Goose is up. We eat that BT. We know V already had DS. We see her proc her live just there. She's gonna get some good distance.
Unfortunately, that is the down. Very quick down onto Schroed here.
I think we see Goose healing in the distance, probably with that inner strength. Yeah, we see inner deactivated on them now. We have the pick, or we have the unbreakable that came through on Adam, and we have our deliverance up now.
You know, we did see a very quick tunnel out of potentially 2 gens, almost 1. The survivors are really bouncing back and saying, you want to tunnel out our survivors? We're going to make you pay for the tunnel out by just completing these gens.
Honestly, as good as Cyber's chases have been, I feel like this is a little bit of a late tunnel out on the nurse set. I think we'd want to see that tunnel out coming through probably closer to the 3 gen mark, but we now have it right basically at the 1 generator left mark. Oh!
Oh my goodness, I'm not surprised that this tunnel out happened at 1 gen. Royalty's a very strong team with strongsters and I'm sure even stronger killers as we do take the down onto Meg on 11. Gonna slug. Interesting play.
I think our killer might be of the assumption that with Adam running in freely for that trade earlier, that that's probably our deli and maybe assumes Unbreakable was already used. But we also know Meg is there slugged in the corner with a finished gen. Even if she's picked quickly or Unbreakable, she's going to have to rotate out to be able to work on a gen. And we see scratch marks.
We see our Goose.
We have the pallet drop. We hear the injured Claudette in the distance.
Very nice down.
And we just saw Meg picked.
Do you think we will see a 4K1 Reaver, or do you think we could potentially see another gen pop and make this 4K0?
We still have Deliverance up, but our Unbreakable is burned. We have Meg able to self-reset here on the edge map because we have a medkit allowed here in the nurse set. I want to see our killer turn and see what this oh!
Did we spot the reset? Oh, but we did spot Geo.
But our killer is slugging again. We haven't seen Deliverance now, and we know it's allowed in this set. So it's very, very likely going to be the nurse not wanting to play to eat that. Oh, but we see the blood. And we see the Meg. The reset didn't come through.
Unfortunately, this is going to be a 4K1 in a
very short swing.
That hit looked crazy, but I did not know that was a short swing, Reaver.
Yeah, we're seeing... I really like the confidence on Cyber's use of the nurse's power. We're seeing these really fast blinks come out and those like short, snappy swings that catches our survivors a little bit off guard. And it looks like our nurse did catch on to Geo being our deliverance here. We're just gonna slug them out, wait for these deaths to come through on our other survivors before we go for that pick and not wanting to risk eating the deliverance. I really like that we see so much awareness from our nurse here.
Same. I just hope we can see a Mori because I love seeing nurses Mori, but I don't know about you.
We've seen a couple fun Moris today, so I'm definitely looking forward to it as well.
At least we get to see some moonwalks before we see the Mori from Geo.
This has been a really decisive 4K1 from our nurse on Odyssey. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how our royalty killer can either keep pace with this or somehow pull out a 4K2.
I'm excited to see this too.
And with the death coming through on Goose, the Mori should be available here in just a moment. And Vix dying in the distance as well. Geo moving away from the wall to allow us a slightly better angle for this Mori.
Yay, the Mori
and we will be right back with Royalty on the Nurse. And we are back with the second game of our second set in Royalty versus Odyssey, with Royalty on the Nurse. Our Odyssey survivors need to beat a 4K1 to be able to take this set. And I'm joined again by the lovely Ellie as my co-caster.
Hi everyone! First of all, I am terrified to see Schroed on Killer. I played against Schroed's Killer before and it is the most horrible thing to go against. But I'm also excited because I get to see my favorite character in DVD, which is Ace. I always love seeing an Ace, but for one WinCon, this is gonna be very interesting. Because if they do not beat this WinCon, the only 2-0 for Royalty, right, Reaver?
Yeah, we have Royalty on Killer. They took the Unknown set just a little bit ago, so it really is on the survivors to get all 5 generators done to send us to the tiebreaker. So far, they're doing a really good job of that. We saw that early chase not even resulting in a tag. Those blinks not quite landing on our survivors. They're doing a good job of playing the edge map filler, kind of playing to the weakness of Nurse, which is that she can't just walk them down.
Seeing the different uses of perks, I'm not seeing Ruin on this one. Do you think they'll determine what happens in this matchup?
Yeah, we saw Ruin cleansed immediately there. We already have it doled out there on the hide. We do have Eruption up and a viable. The Dying Light is a little bit of an older fashioned pick for our Nurse here. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but our Killer does need gen slowdown where possible. I'm just not sure that this limited regression is going to be enough. Oh, and we see the overblink there onto Covet. Yeah.
Very unfortunate overblink. But our Ace is playing this super well, running the Nurse edge map. Knowing where to die, most likely too. A very nice tag, Reaver, I would say.
Yeah, it works in the Nurse's favor, forcing this Ace to stay edge map, not going to allow him to make any sort of strong tile. Oh, but the filler on the edge just coming in to block the Nurse from blinking any further, and not going to allow the final down to come through. Ace doing a really good job using these edge fillers and these walls, breaking that line of sight, making that Nurse guess as much as possible, not playing like Shaq and being forced onto those more standard check spots. Really nice. Another whiff from the Nurse, extending this chase. We have 1 gen done already. And now we're fully able to make it to this tile at 5. This Ace should be able to extend this chase considerably longer. We have these nice little eye fillers here at the edge map. And Ace just doing the best, almost being forced to walk down the survivor. Yeah, we have a second generator coming out. We only have 2 more generators to our Tycon here, which would also send us into the 3rd set.
But this Ace is doing super well. I always love seeing Ace, but I'm also terrified of playing against an Ace if I see them, because they are the most survivors that can juice the most.
At this point, I think our Nurse almost needs to leave this chase. She's just being held hostage here on the edge map, but we do finally get that down, but that's another generator popped. Our survivors only need 1 more to meet their tie condition, and this Nurse doesn't even have, yeah, she doesn't even have pain res to slow anything down. We didn't have any eruption applied to any generators. We're not going to gain any amount of slowdown for that, really. We have a single stack of Dying Light, but even that isn't going to hinder our survivors at considerable amount.
Very C1 has a lot of prog.
Yeah, it looks like we didn't... Oh, the blast mine.
Oh, I gotta feel bad for Schroed here. I hate when this happens to me when I play Killer.
Yeah, it looks like our Killer also didn't see the survivor rotating down to 2 there when they were approaching the generator, so they lose a little bit of extra time there just glancing at the edge map, and they really can't afford to give too much more time up. We have our survivors doubling on this bottom gen. Trying to stealth out the nurse, and we have a survivor back on one. Our Jake does get caught out. The tag will land, and Jules is now going to run down towards Shaq, which is a bit of a risky choice because we know we have... Oh, the double bag. Good patience from our nurse there, holding that first blink and able to connect on the down. And then the eruption triggering on both of these survivors here.
The stun, but we get the tag, but this is looking a little good for Schroed here. But they cannot overcommit to a chase at the same time, because we do see a gen being worked on in the distance.
Yeah, we saw Mord up on that generator at 1. Oh, and Cyber gonna vault into the killer now. A second slug, but Jules is picked, likely by Covet here, still bottom. But once again, no pain res. Limited eruption applied. We're just not seeing the regression and the slowdown we need from this nurse. We have our second dying light stack. And yeah, that's going to be our Tycon met. And Cyber is our deli!
Ooh, that's gotta suck if you're a nurse player.
Holding that second blink, not quite sure where our ace was. And Ace, yeah, we see the safety blink from Schroed there onto the corner. Ace doubles back into the hit. Oh, and the dead hard! Really good, and we have our ace back on this corner. 7 here. But the nurse able to seal this chase a lot faster this time. Not gonna let the ace run her around on the edge map. This will be another fast second hook onto Covet. But we're already at our tie condition, which means our Odyssey survivors have secured themselves the third set. We will be playing another match here.
See the final gem pop, I believe.
Oh, the grab! And that will be a win for our Odyssey survivors to the sacrifice of Jules.
But these survivors on Odyssey played this super well. I'm so impressed.
Yeah, I think we owe almost 3 generators just to our aces chase on that edge map between 6 and 7. We have our door open. We should have a basement hook here. No, not going for a basement hook. Just gonna hook in mid-map here. Our final fresh hook on the Mord. We have our survivors healing. We have our split doors. We have one right there at 8. So there is potential for our survivors to make it out. We have everyone fresh.
Do you think they're gonna play? Do you think they're gonna save this? Oh, yep, they are gonna save.
We have Odyssey coming straight back on Survivor again, so it never hurts to just play for the best result you can. Get really good morale going into this tiebreaker set. Artist can be difficult in terms of having to play a long game, having to break a 3 or 4 gen. So I think our survivors playing for this out, playing for the best result they can be really good for morale and for what we're gonna see on the last set. But yeah, we see the heal come out again in the distance. I'm not sure if our... Oh no, we have our survivors here. We saw Covet leaving in the distance. Our nurse doesn't quite spot Cyber, so this pull is gonna happen. I don't think our nurse even expected that to happen, turning around a little bit confused there. I'm not sure if Mord can quite make it to the door. Yeah, the nurse is gonna be able to cut him off here. BT, I don't believe will last quite that long.
No, it will not.
But Cyber will make it out nonetheless. Oh!
Yeah, I think Sho just let them leave. Poor Shrod.
Yeah, we have a final result of 6 stages for our killer, all 4 fresh. And we will be right back with Artist on ARP.
We are back with the tiebreaker. Artist on ARP between Odyssey and Royalty. Royalty playing the artist, Odyssey survivors. We just saw a very nice matchup and on the nurse between these two teams. And that is how we got to our tiebreaker here, ladies and gentlemen. Reaver, what are you looking forward to in this matchup?
I think I want to see our artists establish really early which side of the map they're going to set up on. I think we see a 3-gen top on main building. We see a nice tight 3-gen here at Shack. And we've already found a survivor here in the Corrupt. I don't think this is a bad chase to have. Artist in basement is incredibly deadly. We have our Corrupt, so we know this isn't going to be popped imminently. I just want to see map control. I want to see good birds, a stagger if we can, and map control.
I want to see a slingshot. If an artist player can pull off a slingshot, that means they are a very good artist player.
Yeah, actually, seeing this gen spread, I'm kind of questioning our killer's choice just a little bit. No, I see they're transitioning back top. I think that's a good choice. We have our 4-gen top and it's open. This is very much more so the side of the map our killer wants to defend.
I'm getting a little PTSD seeing this artist at Reaver because I used to do artist scrims and that 2-gen gives you PTSD every single time because the killer used to always go to the 2-gen. So I am sweaty for these survivors right now.
Yeah, if this killer is able to get a down here in the 4-gen, it can kind of spell disaster. It becomes fully campable. But our killer doesn't want to commit to Jules going bottom. Yeah, we see all this progress on one of these generators, kind of dead in the middle of the 4-gen spread.
I hope our survivors play the super safe Reaver. If you get tagged, just send it bottom so that way you guys can reset bottom, then make it top.
Oh, finesse!
A little finesse!
Finesse into Lithe, completely denying our killer this tag. And our killer overextending just a little bit. But yeah, we're seeing that kind of heads-up gameplay out of our survivors already. The minute they're in chase, they're kind of sending it bottom. They're even risking the hit just to make it down. And we hear some...
Yeah, there was a gen top, so there's still a 3-gen top, if I'm not mistaken, Reaver.
Yeah, it's not as strong of our position. Artist chases can extend a fair amount. Oh, but a really nice bird down onto Cyber. But with getting that hill gen out so early, our survivors actually have a much weaker 3-gen on the top side. That hill gen was kind of in the middle of it and made that tighter 3-gen that was more towards the right side. We have a good 3-gen bottom. Now, I don't think our artist is making a bad choice maybe to transition to the bottom, but once again, we have a lot of progress down here. And yeah, we have...
artist player... Oh, we do see Jules, and I think if our killer plays this well, we could see this survivor K Jules dying bottom, so that way you could defend the 2 hooks. But I think Jules is gonna try to send it top, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure Jules will be able to make it fully. We're kind of getting caught. Oh, nice swing.
Oh, I would be so pissed if I was this V player. Getting the stomach, getting hit through it, that is the most frustrating thing you can do as a survivor.
This is also going to spell a little bit of disaster for our survivors. No, it doesn't look like we're going for basement. This is a bit of an interesting choice from our killer because I thought we had a pain res over there on the other side of Shack as well, but we're not using it. We could really use some gen regression, but not taking 2 of our really strong hook options there of either basement. Yeah, we had 2 pain res there in the corner and we haven't even used a stack yet. I'm maybe not understanding the game plan that our killer has, other than maybe wanting to save that regression for later into the game.
I think, yeah, they know someone's here. They're gonna try to send the birds. Yep.
Maybe not wanting to allow Jules to make it top, but there's a high probability that our survivors are able to pop this hill gen. And yeah, we see it pop. So we're now left with a 2-2 split. Our killer no longer has a really defendable gen spread anymore. I think there might have been a few too many mistakes on our killer's side to get a to get too dominant of a result, at the very least, out of this game.
Very nice vault and win from our Lee here. And that down! RS player is very good with their birds, I can tell these downs.
Yeah, we're now having to opt for this top mid pain res hook. I think the regression earlier onto Jules' first hook would have been a little bit stronger to prevent that bottom hill gen from popping. But we do... Oh, we find all 3 survivors bottom. That's a really risky position to be in here. And we get the tag onto Mort in the distance.
But we do know that Jen has lots of high prog, so what do you think this result's gonna be, Reaver? Do you think we could expect a 4K1, or do you think we'll see a 4K0, or potentially outs?
I think our survivors right now are optimistically playing 4 outs. Yeah, that bird doesn't quite connect. They have a... Oh, our killer has a really nice long arm, able to get those downs without the pallet drop coming through. And another tag really quickly. That rapid coming out, which we haven't talked about much actually this game, allowing our killer to get just a little bit more distance. We haven't seen a lot of bird tags coming through. So I think that rapid is helping them gain a little bit of distance back. Oh, Nancy catching a really nicely placed bird, but also not getting caught too hard at that tile. We still... we spot Ace trying to rotate in. Ace not quite close enough for the pallet save, but now we're going to be utilizing one of these bottom pain res hooks. It'll slow our gens down considerably. We see our death hook serve top, Ace still bottom, and Nancy ready to pop another generator top. But yeah, I think against the artist, against this much of a gen spread split, we really should be seeing outs here. We only have one death hook survivor. We have a generator top that can basically go undefended by the artist other than the occasional bird. And we won't even see that bird landing on anyone. Yeah, to come for this generator, she has to completely give up the 2 generators bottom and that hook that she was defending. Oh, a nice bird.
We do spot our Nancy. Not gonna get the tag, unfortunately. But we have lots of good gen prog. We have 2 survivors working shack, a survivor working near main.
Oh, really nice bird down, actually. The Nancy did a good job there of not taking the bird injure and just getting fully trapped there, but the M1 will hold her in that corner regardless.
And the pain res. Not gonna quite see anyone with the birds, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like our artist still thinks that they were working this generator more towards 5 and they weren't doubling shack, so the bird's gonna be a little bit misplaced. But yeah, our artist is kind of just stuck in this spiral of having to be the one to fully cross the map. Trying to use birds, trying to detect if we have any survivors stealthing down here in basement. No heartbeats at the moment. But we know...
There's working top, sorry, Reaver.
Yeah, we had that unhook come through. We see multiple survivors top. This just isn't holdable for our artist.
We do spot our ace player. This gen's gonna pop regard. Yeah, there's the pop.
I'd love to see one of our death hook survivors rotate down and try to play for covet here. I think there's really high potential to get this fresh survivor out, and it would make a really like it would make a much stronger condition for the killer that's about to come in and play. And yeah, we see just that. We see Jules coming in, trying to take birds, trying to take the hit. Oh, a really nice time by our survivors playing this mid. Jules taking that bird and not taking it down. Oh, really nice play by Cyber there, going in and being the one to take that down. Yeah.
Do you think we'll see a hatch play from Jules, or do you think we are just going to see a 2K from our killer?
That really is up to our artists, making sure we get birds placed at the right angle. And yeah. But a really good result for a 2K from our survivors. That's going to be 7 stages, 3 fresh. That's definitely playable for our next killer. I think that's definitely beatable on both sides. I think our survivors and killer both have a chance of taking this next set. But we will be right back with the second half of our artist match in Odyssey versus Royalty.
Everyone, we are back with the second half of our tiebreakers set artists on ARP, Royalty, Survivors, Odyssey on the killer. We just saw a very, I would say, not hard win con, but a very playable win con, Reaver.
Yeah, I think the 7 stage 3 fresh is definitely doable for either side. We just need to see some really strong gameplay to get to that point. We see a little bit of a weaker gen spread for our killer on this matchup. We have that mid-gen, so it's going to be a bit more of a 3-1-3, a little bit harder to defend, but we just need to see map control out of our killer. We need to see them set up early, and we want to see a fast chase.
Which we might see on Goose, aka our Claudette, which they are juicing a little bit, but they are going to take the birds, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that was a quick and quiet that came through on the Goose. But the bird down.
Very fast down.
We actually see Cupid across the map getting rid of, I believe that was our Ruin Totem, and 2 survivors on very high progress generators.
And some PR coming in too.
Yeah, we see Envix forced to rotate off of that mid-gen. Geo stealthing in for that pull already, and Cupid trying to work one of these top gens. A little bit of an unfortunate hook placement for our survivors. That mid-gen would have been really nice to get out early. It gives you the ability to pop. Because it is so bottom leaning, it gives you the ability to just pop one of these bottom gens and not have to worry about the 3-gen anymore. But it's just going to be set there to slowly regress. The Painter is eating away at it. And Geo getting caught bottom.
It's always a good thing to get that middle gen done so that way you can split top and bottom gens, but unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see that happening.
Yeah, we know one of our serves is top from that totem pop early on. I think our killer can safely assume they're on one of our generators top. With Geo being our other bottom survivor, our killer really only needs to watch for the cross now because Geo won't be able to come in and pull this hook. And yeah, second stage does come through on Goose. A really good position for our killer already because Envix's gen is only at 75.
We do see Cupid coming in, potentially gonna try to get this unhook, but I don't think our killer player is gonna let that happen. Oh, they get the unhook!
Yeah, it looks like we're just gonna be taking the birds, but oh, Cupid not quite able to body block. Oh, the birds won't come through. Goose getting off another silent vault with that quick and quiet. But Artist really nicely able to zone our survivor off of that pallet with the threat of the bird down. Good pathing from Goose to make it back to this window. But the fake doesn't read.
And then they do not even get the stun with the firecracker, but Goose is making sure that they last a little bit of time so that way we can see more gens, but unfortunately that is going to be the end of Goose.
This bodes really well for our killer. We see Envix's gen popping. I think this might be the... No, not the mid gen. That was the top gen that Arcade was working on. So we only have 2 generators done. They were both top, so we're still going to have to contest with this bottom 3 gen. And we already have 3 stages out, and we're into the 3v1. We see scratch marks on Shack, but no info from that bird. A little bit of progress sitting on the Shack generator at the moment. Oh, and this will be the injured Geo caught here at Shack. Oh, our killer getting a little bit lost reading those scratch marks, but Geo not gonna be able to make it to anything else after getting zoned off Shack pallet. And this is going to be a second hook in this bottom 3 gen we're defending. Yeah, and our killer opting for pain res. Oh, and we hear Cupid scream across the map. No, not across the map. Here on bottom, actually. These dry kicks are an unfortunate reality for our artist. No eruption, nothing exciting to apply with that kick, but just needing to get this gen starting to regress.
Ooh, and the pre-drop with the light.
A good play by Cupid. We really need to get Chase out of this bottom side now that this is our 3 gen. Oh, and just dodging those birds.
We get the stun though, but we do manage to not get birds on us as we do make it top.
Oh, but we see...
playing this really well, just dodging these birds, just holding W.
Yeah, I like this. Our artist has been pulled kind of into an overextension top. We see Envix now popping a generator bottom, going to break that tighter bottom 3 gen. But this will be another pain res. It should slow down any additional progress our survivors have. Ooh, Geo possibly detected there with Heartbeat.
I think so too.
And Vix just stealthing top for this pull.
I mean, if Arcade here can get the fast on the hook, our killer should probably tunnel, or they're gonna... Nope, they're gonna go bottom to stop that gen. That Shack gen.
Oh. Geo will be caught out here at Shack. Oh, and a really nice down from our artist. Also, I see our survivors actually left one of the generators top. So we have a complete gen spread. Once again, our artist unable to hold that 3 gen, just getting pulled too far into chase. Another undefendable gen spread.
Do you think we will see a 4K1 Reaver, or do you think we could potentially see outs?
We have a lot of progress on that Shack gen. I think we're already at... No, we're already almost to our 7 stages. So this is going to be really close. We need to see that Shack gen pop because that's the only thing that's going to kind of get our survivors into a position where they can play for those outs. But it's going to be really tight. I think this is our killer's game to lose right now.
I honestly would have to agree with you there. They need to get the Shack gen, but I don't know if that is going to be the case. But at least we see Cupid working a gen top, but... The BT hit onto our Geo!
That was really well played by our survivors. Our killer got to set up the slingshot with the birds, but one of them took the bird injury and the other was able to take that BT hit. We're still going to see a really fast down, but it's a bit of a stay of execution by our survivors there. Really well played.
I'm a little worried for our survivors right now because if Geo does go down, we will not see the last gen pop. They need a last for this gen.
And that will be Geo caught out. This hook onto Geo right now is our tie condition. That's our 7-stage 3 fresh. But we still have Envix slugged bottom. And Cupid may pop this gen, but it's not going to result in an out, I don't think.
No, I don't think so, but at least we do see the jump up, and maybe we could get one now if they do not come top to get Cupid.
Potentially. Cupid may have the time. Actually, I'm not. We do have the gate at 12, but the birds are going to be able to stop this. With Cupid being injured, they won't be able to just the gate. And that last hook onto Envix is going to be the win condition for our Odyssey killer.
Well, congratulations to Odyssey. Both sides are playing this really well. This was a very good matchup. It could have went either way, honestly, Reaver. This was so close. I think the closest matchup I ever casted.
Yeah, 7-stage is definitely... It was really just up to the individual skill or coordination of either side. We saw survivors on both sides do a really good job of breaking up these 3 or 4 gens. Our royalty survivors had a little bit of an easier job of it with that 3-1-3 split, but both teams were fully able to break them. They didn't get held into the infamous like I-tile 3-gen. But this last stage onto Envix and the pressure that Cyber was able to hold with Artis just was enough to get Odyssey the win. And yeah, we'll see Cupid leaving, cementing the 10 stage for Cyber and the win for Odyssey. This is our last game of the weekend as well.
Very fun matchup indeed, and it was so much fun casting with you for the first time, Reaver, too.
Absolutely. We will see you guys back for week 4 of Ashen Trials.